Sweet tribe, how you doing? It's Jeannie here, broadcasting from my live Christmas tree. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about something that has been coming up a lot for me as I'm writing my book, and it's something that I just feel like I can't wait to be in conversation with you about. And first and foremost, I always want to emphasize that I claim to be a truth seeker, not a truth seller. So I'm not here to sell you the truth. I'm more interested in the questions themselves and what they invoke and inspire in all of you. So what I'm curious around today is the value of being a good person. Here we are, many of us on this spiritual journey, wanting to connect with our higher selves and the richness and goodness of that. And I'm really curious around, especially now in my life, coming to a point where I'm getting really clear about how important it is or not to put goodness and kindness above all else. I was raised by a community of really good people. My mother has one of the kindest hearts of anyone I know. She remembers everyone's birthday. She makes everyone feel so special. My father, although sporadic in my life, I have wonderful memories of his generosity and feeding the homeless with him. My stepfather would do anything for anyone at any time. My grandfather, whom I loved more than anything else, was just the epitome of a good man. And so I had this community of good people as role models in my life. And doesn't it sound so wonderful? I mean, I really connected the dots early on in my life between goodness, which came from good grades or acts of kindness or thoughtfulness, to a reward of being appreciated and of affection and of love. So I connected goodness with love, and I really sank my teeth into that idea that if I was a really good person, then I can claim love for myself. I would be secure in love. And that served me for a while until it didn't. And what it clashed up against, bumped up against, is truth. I posted something yesterday, what's more important, truth or peace? And a lot of that has come up recently for me in the past year, getting really clear about my goodness and how and should it take precedence over everything else. I remember when I had my children, looking at them and thinking to myself, if I could just raise good, kind, empathetic, compassionate, loving, conscientious children, if I could just do that, I would have done my job. I mean, that was my biggest dream for them. And I have two very good kids. And what I am recognizing, right now is that if that is the biggest dream that I could have for them and for myself, then I'm really selling all of us short. Now, before y'all go crazy, I don't need to make a case for goodness and kindness. It is important. And I don't think it's exclusive from being honest with yourself. But here's what I do know. In my life, being a good girl means saying the kind thing, saying the right thing, instead of saying the true thing. Being a good girl often means saying yes when I want to say no, to hosting an event, to taking on a project, to helping out a friend. Being a good girl means saying no when I really, really want to say yes to something because it's too self-indulgent. It brings up all these feelings of guilt and shame. And, going to an all-girls Catholic high school, planted firmly on my shoulder, this little guy, this conscientious being that whispers in my ear all the time, what would a good girl do? And so, for much of my life, I snorted spirituality like cocaine from a very early age because I thought it was the surest, clearest way to love, to being a good person. If I was just a really good person, then I would be loved. And what I'm recognizing is it's not that goodness and being authentic are mutually exclusive. They certainly overlap, but I'm really interested in teasing them apart because I think at times they can conflict. Sometimes being a good person isn't the most important, most desirable thing that I can be if it's at the expense of telling the truth, if it's at the expense of being congruent and aligned with my other values, if it's at the expense of me expressing myself truly. Being a good person is not the most important freaking thing in the world. It's just not. For me. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know. Bye for now.